Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's difficult to cut off the late great Bob Marley, but here we go. Alright, so we're going to do the Illustrator project, the pear. So let's take a look and see what we're going to do. You know this. Here's what we're going to do. Take a look at that. And day one, hey, copy all the files and paste them to your folder called Illustrator. Alright, so here is what I'm saying to you. I'm saying go into my folder and copy all these files, and then I want you to go into your folder with your name on it. Go into Creative Apps, make a folder called Illustrator, make a folder called Pear, and paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all in there. Okay, go ahead and do that, and then let's keep going. So let's see what's next. All right, here's what you do and answer these questions. All right, let's do it. Okay, we're going to start off with Pear 1, and here's the deal. So in order to make a path like this, you go to the pen tool and you can click, 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 and you just make this nice little path. Okay, and so then let's say this, let's make it a little fatter so that we can see it better. Oh, let's see what view I'm in. View, preview. Okay, so we made it fatter so we can see it. Alright, let's say this. Let's go to the direct selection tool. Let's see if I can select an individual line and delete it. So I selected an individual line. It's like, oh no, I have two different things now. So look, if I move this thing, well look, if I move this thing, they're two separate things. So if I want to reconnect those, here's what I do. I go to the pen tool and I find its anchor point, and eventually, see if it'll find it. Maybe I better select it. So I'll select this thing, I'll go to the pen tool, and I'll go to its anchor point. Alright, see that? See how it's an X? So that's saying, hey, there's an anchor point there, and then I'm going to go over here, and there, see that? It's found its anchor point. Okay, so now these are the same reconnected. Okay, so if you want to reconnect things, you use the pen tool and you click on the two anchor points and it'll reconnect those things. So now if I go to move it, it will move around. Okay, now check this out. One other thing you need to know is, oh, by the way, if yours doesn't look like this, go Window, go Workspace, and go Painting, and yours will look like this. Okay, so now let's go over here to Stroke. Go over here to Stroke, and I can turn it into a dashed line, and I can adjust the size. I can say, oh, I don't want it to be 4 point or 12 point. I want it to be 18 point. Okay, and that'll adjust it. All right. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back to the spiel here and see how do you connect separate paths. You got that. How do you create dash paths? What key will turn? Oh yeah, we gotta do that. All right. So what key will turn? All right. So look, let's say I'm drawing. This happens all the time. You're drawing something and you have the pen tool and now you want to move it. Well, if you try to grab it and move it, you're going to keep drawing. So what I can do is hit the what key is it? The Alt, the Control key. There it is. I press the Control key and now it turns my pen tool into the move tool. Okay? So it's just like clicking this. Except for when I release Control, it goes back to the pen tool. Okay, so the Control key, the Control key, the Control key. Okay, give it a shot. All right, so let's go to the next. Let's go to our back to our spiel here. Let's see what's up next on the list. Page down. Oh, right here. Open the Pear 2 and make sure it is saved and draw straight lines. Okay, so this one's pretty easy. So we want to make sure. So save your changes. Go File, Save. Okay, actually I'm going to go File, Save. Okay, make sure you. Okay, so what you want to do is go down to 2. Okay, now this one's easy. We just go to the pen tool. We just go click, 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 click. We've made a nice path. Now what key do we hit to move it? Yes, indeed, Control. We press Control and we're just going to move it down here. Okay, that's it. Save it. Go File, Save, and you're done. Now let's go to 3 here. We're going to do this one next. Let's take a look at our spiel, though. Let's see what our spiel says. All right, let's review. All right, check this out. This is an anchor point. Pardon me. This is an anchor point. This is the direction line. This is the direction our curve is going to go. And this thing right here is the direction handle. So we're going to be very concerned about direction handles next. This is a Bezier curve. A Bezier curve is a curve that's made up of these anchor points and handles. Okay, so let's go down here. Open Pear 3 and make sure to save it right. Draw accurate curves. We need to answer this question. What key do you press to constrain a direction handle to right angles? What key do you press to constrain a direction handle to right angles? Okay, so let's see what that's talking about. Okay, so what it's talking about is this. Let me blow this up here so we can see it. Okay, we want to draw these curves. Now check this out. So when we're drawing the curve, you can click. It's like, oh wait, I want this thing to go perfectly straight up, but I can't get it. Well, if you hit Shift, it'll constrain it to these nice angles. Okay, so the Shift key. Now we have to figure out how high up to go. So let's go. Let's just start right there. So I'm going to release the key. I'm just going to release the mouse. I'm just going to keep holding Shift. Okay, so now I'm going to click down. I want that handle to go even with it. It can see how it's going a little bit up. That's all right. We'll fix it. So let's make that handle go even with it. I'm still holding Shift. I click, drag with the mouse, release the mouse button, click, drag, release, click, drag, release, and click, drag, release, all the time holding Shift. Now, if we want to fix this, what we do is we go to the direct selection tool, we click off, and then we drag that handle, and we drag it right where it goes. And then we click off, we click that handle, drag it right where it goes. We click off, drag that handle, right goes. If you can't tell, there's the announcements. Okay, so now at this point, so we're back here and we're on the direct selection tool. So now we can also adjust these direction handles. So we'll drag this thing down here. We'll drag this thing. Actually, we'll drag this back up. So we'll keep playing with these things until these are all level and they're all set up. Okay, so get that perfect. Okay, get that perfect, get the direction handles perfect, get everything perfect, and then we'll go on to the next one. Let's go back to our spiel. We better save this. Make sure you save it in the right spot. File, save. Alright, good. Now let's go back to our spiel. Answer this question. What key do you press to constrain a direction handle to right angles? Well, you should know that by now. Alright, let's take a look at the next one. Pear 04. Open it up, make sure it's saved in the right spot. And here's the questions, which we will answer soon. Alright, so we're going to go to pear 04. Alright, now check this one out. This is a little trickier because instead of this nice curve, you have these corner anchor points. So you see those things? That's called a corner anchor point. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen. We'll do it wrong the first time. So we're going to hold down our Shift key to make this go straight up. And then we're going to click this down. And then so we're going to go there. And then we're going to click here. And wait a minute, that is not what we want at all. So let's start over and do it right. So that's what it wants to do. That's not what we want it to do. So we press Shift to constrain the proportion. We go up. Okay. So we click this, and we click pull it down. Now I'm still holding the mouse key. I haven't let anything, and I press Alt. Okay. And Alt's going to let me change this direction handle, and I'm going to go right back on itself. Okay. And then I release the mouse. And I release Alt. Okay, so then all I'm pressing on the keyboard is Shift. I'm going to just press Shift the whole time. I'm not touching the mouse. Now I click on the mouse, click, drag, Alt, drag, release the Alt, release the key. Okay, click, drag, press Alt, drag, release the Alt, release the mouse. Click, drag, Alt, drag, release the Alt, release the mouse. Click, and drag, and release the keyboard, and release the Shift key. Okay, that's it. It takes a little practice. Give it a shot. Okay, all right. Now let's try. Oh, now we press the Control key to convert our pen tool. Well, that didn't work. Here, let's just drag this thing down. I messed up somehow. Alright, we'll wiggle and bring us down. Alright, now let's do this one right here. Okay, so let's go back to the pen tool. So this one is a little different. So we click and we drag. You can use Shift if it helps you. It helps me. And then release the mouse. And then click and drag. Now here's what you do. So I'm going to release the mouse and release the Shift key. Alright, so I'm not pressing anything at the moment. So now I just move my pen tool over here. Now look at that. See that thing? That is the convert. See that little angle? That means it's the convert to a corner anchor point tool. So I've switched tools by hovering over. So then I just click and watch what happens. I get rid of that handle. Okay? So I've got rid of that portion of the handle. And so now I click over here. Okay? Oop, that was bad. We'll fix that in a little bit. Alright. So now in the same way, now I have no curve going, so I want to start a curve, so I have to use my corner anchor point, and so I click and I drag down. You can use the shift key and release the mouse. So click, drag up, and release the mouse, release the shift key. Okay, I'm not touching anything, and then I hover over, and then there's the convert anchor point tool. You can see that it goes from the pen tool to the convert anchor point tool. I click, release, click, release, bring my mouse off, and now I click and drag up, and I click and drag down, and there you have it. So now I release, release, I'm done. Now what I can do is go back and perfect it. So this needs to come down right there. This handle needs to go up to match the other side. So this comes down just a little bit. This comes down just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll keep tweaking it from there. We'll get it absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you can, by the way, use the arrow keys to get it right where you want. So right now I'm clicking, and I'm using the arrow keys to get it right where I want it. That's about close enough. Does that make sense? All right, good. Save it. Now press the control key. You can use this and move this down. Okay, and now save your changes. Let's go back to our spiel and answer these questions, and then answer these questions for the quiz. Ready to go.